race fans, welcome to my little show about racing I like to call In the Pits with me, Stock Car Scott. And as always, In the Pits is brought to you when I feel like doing it, which is kind of like every week. But anyway, it's brought to you by Monte Carlo Express Delivery. Monte Carlo Express Delivery has been serving the courier needs of the Puget Sound area for well over a decade now. Please like us on Facebook. Okay, well, I was doing that courier thing Friday. Work. Didn't get to watch any practice for F1 or trucks or Cup or anything. But I did get home in time to see the entire Camping World Truck Series race there at Texas Motor Speedway, and it was a lot of fun to watch, folks. It was really good. It's a shame they didn't show any replays on Fox this week. I didn't see a replay of it. Everybody, I hope you saw it, or I hope you caught the little bit of it that I posted on Stock Car Scott YouTube channel. But it was really fun. The Phenom Eric Jones there was on the pole, but we didn't care about that up here in the Northwest. Us local fans, we wanted to hear about Tyler Tanner, and he was 17th in the starting position there. Really good for somebody that's working on getting some experience there, and that was in the primary motor MB Motorsports truck, number 63 Silverado. Yeah, he was in the primary this week. So 17th is kind of where Tyler ran all night long. It was, good and steady, nice and clean racing that he did. But during a long green flag section, folks, because of pit strategies and everything, as the leaders started to peel off, Matt Crafton goes to the pits, and other guys head in, and that leaves Auburn Washington's Tyler Tanner in the number 63 leading laps there for the first time in the Camping World Truck Series, and it was great. It was the most fun, most exciting 5 laps that I've ever watched of the Truck Series on television. And Facebook was blowing up the whole time. It was great. Way to go, Tyler. You're really making race fans up here in the Northwest very happy. So keep it up. It's great running. Then the rest of the race, Tyler ran a nice clean race for the rest of the race there, and finished where he started, a very respectable 17th place. And he led laps, folks. Five laps he led. And oh, by the way, the rest of the race, calm down, race was won by Matt Crafton in his number 88 Toyota, Menards Toyota truck there. He started second, and he just stretched out that point lead over second place Tyler Reddick, and third place Eric Jones. Neither of those guys finished in the top 10, so he was really able to get some more points there on them. This coming weekend, trucks are racing again, and they are racing Saturday night at Gateway Raceway, which is on the east side of the river across the Mississippi River from St. Louis. It's usually called Gateway St. Louis, but it's not really in St. Louis. But the race shop that Tyler Tanner drives for, the Mittler brothers, have their race shop in St. Louis, so this is kind of a home track for them this weekend. So we are really expecting good things out of Tyler. Of course, his race will be run while I'll be up at Evergreen watching racing up there, but that's great. Be sure to watch. I know I will watch as soon as I get home, watching much of it before I can leave and head up to Evergreen. But anyway, the trucks Friday night were a warm-up race there at Texas for the IRL. They had a 600 kilometer race on Saturday, and that's just one of the many, many races that I did get to watch on Saturday, even though I didn't go out to any tracks or anything this weekend. But the one stock car race that I wanted to watch on Saturday, I couldn't find. I couldn't see. I followed it online, but the Pocono 80-lap, 200-mile race that they had, which would have been shown here like Saturday morning, it was on that Phantom Sports channel again, that Phantom Sports 2. Can't find it anywhere, but from what I was following along online, it looked like it was a really good race with Trevor Bain and an Advocare-sponsored Ford was able to win the race, and second place was my favorite, Fairhope, Alabama's Grant Enfinger. And of course, with coming in second, he just maintained his ARCA driver points lead. Their next race is at Michigan on Friday, and that is also going to be on the Phantom Sports 2 channel. So unfortunately, that's two of the races that I got missed because of that dang channel instead of, well, Lamenting Speed channel once again. They did that not a long time ago, so they'd have a place to show other sports. Anyway, have a drink. Okay. Fans Choice TV was much easier to find than Phantom Sports 2 and supplied the majority of my race watching for the evening. The IRL 600K was there at Texas was on my big screen, but on the little screen, most of the really good racing was going on my computer. I was switching around at the start, trying to find something to watch, but I did settle down when Evergreen's features got going, and the first one was the Hornet Main, and they had 24 cars on what looked like they were letting them race the whole 3/8 mile uninterrupted. They didn't have to do a road course or anything. It looked like, it was kind of hard to tell with the way the camera angles are and everything there, but really good battle between the number 22 of Scott Hunt and the number 66 of Mike Ridley. And I've seen Mike Ridley win a couple of races there this weekend, online and in person, and so good going, Scott. Hunt prevailed over Ridley, and in third was the 76 of Jamie Corbett. Also had a couple of Facebook friends that did real well there. Don Gamika and Cody Hoops were 5th and 6th. I hope I got your name right there, Dan. Dan Gamika, I hope. Anyway, next were the Foster Press mini stocks on the 3/8 mile track with a 9-car count. Scott Burby, who had won his heat race in his number 41 Mustang earlier, tried real hard to catch and pass that Trenton Moriarty in his number 24 VW, but with only one restart during the main, the young Moriarty was able to just about cruise to his 5th win of the season. Number 18, Devlin Kessler, was 3rd. Now, Scott's going to win, going to get Moriarty soon, and I hope to be there to see it. That'll be a good one. During the intermission and the figure 8 races there at Evergreen, I flipped around, found something else to watch. Watched some super streets, they called them, at Langley, Virginia. It was a 25-lap main feature, and it was a really good race. They were beating and banging and all sorts of stuff, but it was really good race, and they were the field was like old 1980s Monte Carlos, Buick, Skylarks and Grand Prix, Skyhawks maybe, but nice shape car that I really like to see racing around the track these days. There was other racing on another part of race. All this was on Race Choice TV. It's really, or Fans Choice, I should say, TV. So you really get a nice overview of American racing there. And there was one at a place called Lake County Speedway, but I never really figured out where that was. I guess I could Google it or Bing it or something, but I never saw where that was. But also, they started the netcast at Magic Valley in Idaho, but I think they got rained out, because the last live image I saw of them was a truck pulling a big tire around the track. And then later when I checked back in on them, it was just the Fans Choice logo. So guess they got rained out. So after the figure eights were over there at Evergreen, I was able to catch their last feature of the evening, which was the street stocks, and it was a quite spirited race, I must say, at least from what I could see from the limited camera angles there at the fairground. But it looked like for a little while like Roger Drake was just going to run off and leave them again this weekend. But the top runners were able to catch him and get up close during the last part of the race. And on a late lap, if not the very last lap, Chad Fitzpatrick was able to get around the defending champion there for yet another win for that number 12 this season. And Daryl Lutoski was third in his number 53. With that, another Frontier family night was over and in the books, and just a little after 9 o'clock, which really made it family night because it gave everybody time to get the kiddies home in bed there. As racing was winding down there at Evergreen, so was the IRL race in Texas. I looked up occasionally to keep an eye on see what was happening. Watched it long enough to see that Scott Dixon of Australia won the Firestone 600K for Target and Chip Ganassi. The top four cars were all Chevy powered, with Tony Kanaan in second, Helio Dancing with the Stars, Castroneves in third, and Juan Pablo Montoya in fourth. Marco Andretti in fifth was the highest placing Honda powered car. Juan Pablo Montoya, this year's Indy 500 winner, still leads the points over Australians Will Power in second and Scott Dixon in third. All Chevy powered. The IRL's next race is a street course in Toronto, Canada, coming this Sunday. Okay, after the IRL race at Texas, there I followed the State Line Idaho Napa Tune-Up 150 there at State Line Stadium Speedway. Watched it, just follow along it wasn't almost live, but 51.com. And while I followed along with that, I also watched the last races of the evening there at Tucson Speedway in Arizona. And though it was a little difficult to keep up with because their leaderboard, something went wrong with either the way that they were giving the information to Fans Choice TV or whatever, but you could see who was there, but you couldn't really see where they were at. But the next to the last race, the late model feature, was really heated. So much there in the desert that when it ended, a fight broke out during the cool-down lap in turn 2. But officials and security were Johnny on the spot, and things didn't get real crazy. And the camera, of course, did what they needed to do and went to the winner's circle for the first place interview there. So it was really fun to watch. And that was followed by a really entertaining Pro Stock race that ended their program for the evening. And their Pro Stock division seems to be another type of street stock class with a fairly healthy car count of 17 that was that's kind of an even mix between various types of General Motors 70s and 80s coupes, a lot of Monte Carlo types, and also Camaro types. So I guess they don't have a ride height rule there. So about the same time that racing was ending there in Tucson, so was the racing in Idaho. They were down to their last 50-lap segment, and when they started that last 50-lap segment, I was tickled to read that Gary Lewis, a longtime favorite driver up here of mine, helped Garrett Evans, someone that I've never really liked, helped him into the front stretch fence there right at the beginning of that final segment. And of course Gary got put to the back, which wiped a smile right off of my face. He was able to get back up to about 5th place by the end of the race. But it looked like young Blake Williams there from the Spokane area had things well in hand during most of the race for looked like a big win for him there in his number 16. Blake finished second in the Mark Galloway 150 over here in Evergreen last month, so 150 laps must be his lucky number. I hope to get to see Blake race again soon, but it doesn't look like that will be at the Summer Showdown. Oh. Sunday was NASCAR Sprint Cup and Formula One on at the same time. Now, Cup got started first, and the weather was really good at Pocono. Had me eating my words about rain all the time. And as I thought about how it usually rained at Pocono, I sat down and enjoyed the entire race. About an hour into the Pocono 400, the second TV got put on the F1 race, but only so I could occasionally check it out and make sure that Lewis Hamilton was still in the lead. In Pocono, took them a long time. They were a third way into the race before the first caution, so they had to use a lot of green flag pit strategy to get up to the front. The ultimate winner, Martin Truex Jr., led the most laps and appeared to have the strongest car in the field, while Happy Harvick had to be happy with second place again and leading the second most laps. Dale Jr., well, he started he started in 15th and ran a lot up front, but wasn't real happy with his finishing position because of a run-in with his teammate Enum Claw's Casey Kane. Gave Junior problems. Wrinkled up his rear quarter panel there, and until he could pit, he just didn't run right. He was able to get it worked on, but was only able to work his way back up to about 11th place, which, from what I was reading today, he was not real happy with, saying that he probably had a third place car if he hadn't had that run in. But he did finish ahead of both the Washington State drivers of Greg Biffle and Casey Kane in 12th and 13th. But now we can no longer say Martin Truex Jr. is the highest in points, in driver points, without a win. That distinction now belongs to Jamie McMurray. Okay, next weekend is Michigan for both Cup and Xfinity. Dale Jr. has several wins at the Michigan track there, and on Saturday the Xfinity race will have Harvick driving a Junior Motorsports number 88 Morton Building Camaro. So both races are on Fox Sports 1 this weekend. And again, also the truck races on Fox Sports 1. I've yet to see any replays from the past weekend's races. Not truck, not ARCA, not Cup. So I would definitely go ahead and record these if you're going to be out, because it does not look like Fox is doing any replays where we can see them during the Women's Soccer World Cup that nobody's watching anyway. So, after Sprint Cup at Pocono, I ran back the tape of the F1 race there at Montreal, Montreal, Canada, and see how Lewis Hamilton dominated the day. He led every lap except for when he was pitting. His teammate, what's his name, Rosberg, ran second all day except for when Hamilton was pitting. And third on the podium was Valtteri Bottas, who was given a gift in the form of a spin in the exact same place that the same driver had spun the year before, last year. That was fellow Finn driver Kimi Räikkönen in his Ferrari. He never recovered from that spin, and so Valtteri Bottas was able to get him another podium for this year. All three of the cars on the podium were Mercedes powered. This win gets Hamilton back on track for a championship repeat by stretching out the points between him and his teammate. What's his name? The next Formula One race is in Austria in a couple of weeks. I think that about covers it for this past week's racing. There were a couple of K&N Pro Series East and West races from the weekend of May 30th. One was at the historic Bowman Gray Stadium, also known as the Madhouse, and the other was at Shasta Speedway in California. Both were excellent races that helped to showcase up-and-coming drivers. NBC Sportsnet showed both races several times over the week, so hopefully you got a chance to see it. If not, maybe they'll show it. They might show it again this week. They don't have another one of those type races until June 18th when they have the Whelen Modifieds. Okay, coming up this weekend around here, the limited late models and Bumblebees and a couple other divisions are down at South Sound Speedway in Rochester, and they have a special going on with $5 tickets for dads. It's Father's Day weekend, so that's nice. But because my wife and I are planning on going the following week down there to the twin 50-lap Kelly Main Invitational Super Late Model features, we decided to go to Evergreen this weekend. They've got a 75-lap Super Late Model feature there on the 3/8 mile track, along with street stocks and the mini stock Invitational. That should bring out more cars than just the 9 cars from last week. I'm also looking forward to seeing the Pro 4 trucks that will be there this weekend, as many of the drivers, I communicate with them on Facebook, and it'll be nice to get to see them. So, Evergreen looks pretty good, and for the weather this weekend, if it holds out, that's where I'll be. But wherever I go, or wherever you go, just go. Please go support your local racetrack. Go cheer for your favorite local drivers, because you never know if you're watching the next Casey Kane or Greg Biffle or Tyler Tanner. So, see all of you race fans at the track, you know that's where I'll be, because, as you know by now, I'm Stock Car Scott, and this is In the Pits. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next week.